Welcome, neighbors, to the 2025 Annual General Meeting of the Upper West Side Coalition of Block Associations and Community Groups. Please, would you include your block association or nonprofit group's name on screen so we're able to know who's here? And be advised that we're recording this meeting for posting to our website. So we have had a most memorable year, year 4, and we're on to the 5th year, and we want to hear from all of you following some introductions and a briefing to members. I'm Steve Anderson from West 81st Street, and I serve as the president of our coalition this year, and for many years have led my own block association on 81st Street between Central Park West and Columbus, a way too cumbersome name I inherited, Theodore Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association. We are here today. The names of all member organizations are in the chat, and feel free to add your comments in the chat if you'd like. We are 14 block and neighborhood associations joined by 13 nonprofit groups providing so very much to our community. I want to first introduce our current Upper West Side Coalition Board of Directors, and please give a wave so people know who you are. You will recall we enlarged our board last year from 6 to 9 members, and our bylaws allow for 15 directors. So the more engaged neighbors, the better, is my view. Erica Atkins, Executive Director, Bloomingdale School of Music. There she is. Aaron Berlinger, our Deputy Treasurer and Treasurer of his West 83rd Street Block Association. Neil Burson is Vice President and Co-President of his West 90s Neighborhood Association. Dale Brown is a Vice President and President of the West 79th Street Block Association she founded and leads. Liz DeVito is our treasurer and on the leadership team of Manhattan 75, West 75th Street's newish block association. Mark Jennings is executive director of Project Fine. Mark, are you here? Did we miss you? There's Mark. There's Mark Jennings. So you're muted, so we can't hear you, but we can see you, Mark, and we know you're in a car because it looks like you've got your seatbelt on unless things are really rough at work. I hope you're not using the seatbelt, but you'll pop back on, I imagine, and we'll be able to see you. John Liberton is our corporate secretary, chief financial and people officer of the West Side Campaign Against Hunger. John is there. Gary Pelton served as our treasurer for many years and just relinquished that role and is the treasurer of his West 70th Street Neighborhood Association. Gary, are you here? I don't think so. Maybe he'll pop on in a moment. I'm Steve Anderson at that Theodore Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association. Okay, I also want to recognize my neighbor from just across the street who leads the West 81st Street Block Association, Donald Press. He has served as the chair of our nominations, election process, and our de facto parliamentarian, for lack of a better word, advising us on the bylaws and proper procedures to keep us on the straight and narrow mostly. It was my casual outreach to Donald and to Dale on 79th Street that got our support group-like discussions underway during the toughest of those pandemic days and towards the path of creating this organization. Donald will shortly lead us in the election process and our consideration of adjustments to our bylaws. We'll try to get through this as quickly as I can. During the past year, we've reached thousands of Upper West Side neighbors. We've conducted Zoom, YouTube forums open to all who wish to listen, with candidates for office, the sanitation department on composting, learning about the newest Upper West Side Arts Group photo-focused aperture, and ideas on addressing the crisis regarding e-bikes and streetscape safety and dangers on our streets. There are 200 to 300 households tuning into our forums, and our newsletter is probably going to reach 1,000 subscribed homes by the end of this year. Now, a couple of very brief reports. Liz DeVito, our treasurer, will share a financial update. And I want to especially thank Liz for assuming not only this responsibility, but also stepping in temporarily as the editor once again of our newsletter. Please mute if you can, please. We are now seeking new editors who want to be community connected, get into neighborhood engagement, some journalism, and pulling together information from an ever-increasing number of member groups. Please pass this along. Let us know if you think of someone who might just be right for this important position. Our thanks to the former editor who recently stepped down, Elliot Ledley. Liz DeVito, please, a brief financial update, please.
Okay, all right, briefly. We have a pretty healthy balance in the bank right now, close to $5,000. And we're doing very well with the dues drive this year. Almost everybody is paid up. I just have to follow up with a couple of members. We got a beautiful donation from 20th Century Fox Film Corporation. They do Only Murders in the Building. Nice $1,500 contribution. And our expenses are very manageable. They're mostly about digital software and services. So we're in pretty good shape, Steve and everybody. Do you have any questions?
Just note that it does seem that when places like the community board are contacted by a film company, the community board has very nicely said, I think you should talk to the coalition because they really are involved. And this is because these film companies are disturbing the streets and upsetting, and they wanted to. And they did offer us, like they did the year before, $750. And I said, that's very nice and we appreciate it, but I think it's the second year, maybe you could double that. And they said, okay, we'll call you back. And they did. So that was the, as the bag man, I thought I brought home, a few bucks. So that was good to help us. We don't need a lot of money. We received some fees for our participation in the street fairs. We applied for a few grants that we're going to try to get. And we have a very low, small amount of dues, $50 a year. And that's going to be something that I think should not prohibit any group from joining us. So thanks, Liz. I also want to mention that the new giant PC Richards has just opened at 79th Street and Broadway, and they really want to get the support of the community. And if anyone just mentions the Upper West Side Coalition, they'll get at least a 10% discount. And in the chat is the contact info at PC Richards if you want to be in touch with them. I must admit that shortly after hearing this, my dishwasher committed Harry Carey, and I am actually an official client now of PC Richards at 79th Street, and the dishes are clean. Thank you very much. Dale Brown, our vice president, also heads our street fair participation, and it's now underway. We just did the first street fair of the season on Sunday, and she has some information to share with us. Dale?
Okay, we actually have two street fairs coming up in June. June 1st is on Broadway between 65th Street to 72nd Street. And on June 22nd, the street fair is actually on Amsterdam Avenue from 79th Street to 86th Street. The hours that the coalition has its table is from 9 until 4. I just want you to know the fair does run from 10 to 6, but we don't stay that long. And so that you know, we have a lovely tent and we have a table and we have chairs. So it's a really nice setup, and we have some terrific handouts. And Mark Jennings did a great job on something that people can sign up for our newsletter. Now, listen, we need volunteers at our table to meet our neighbors and to tell them about the coalition, our newsletter, and how we can help them start a block association. If you're interested in volunteering, and I sure hope you are, because it's really terrific just talking to our neighbors and everything, please email us at upperwestsidecoalition@gmail.org, and we'll get back to you with more street fair information. Please, you're going to love it. It's really fabulous. I love it.
Oh,
thank you.
That was a good pitch, Dale. Thank you. It was fun out there on Sunday. It was. I've put way too much information in the chat. It's the first time I've ever exceeded the capacity of the chat. So I had to put it in several times, but you'll see all this information is in the chat. And if you just sort of select it and copy all, you can have it all.
Do you want me to put it in?
It's all there.
Okay.
It's all there. Thanks. Okay, so membership. Today we have 27 groups represented by the leaders of community organizations throughout. And probably by next month will be about 30, because we have a couple more who want to join. who want to affiliate with us in support of the Upper West Side. And everyone, it's all about cherishing what we value so greatly, and also protecting and improving it. Community Board 7 now asks leaders of block associations to attend a monthly meeting to share concerns that the community board might address. That's progress, as the value of our organization is acknowledged. In short, I'm working on a little poster with Gail Dubov, who's a very, very capable designer and able to help us communicate. Block associations are back. Okay, there was a period of time when there were many more block and neighborhood associations, but times changed, people moved, and all that. But they're back, and they're being recognized. We are being noticed as an established, nonpartisan, non-political community advocacy group. And that's because of all of you and the hard work of a lot of people. Next up is Donald Press for the annual election of directors. And I think I'll turn it over to Donald for that, and then the amendments. And Donald, take it away, as they say.
All right. I think obviously everybody will be aware of the process that we've been going through. Of course, all of you have been involved and contacted and replied. We did get 25 out of 27 members sending back ballots. All candidates were approved. So we can go through this very quickly. I essentially proposed the slate of 12 volunteers and potential candidates. The slate being Steve Anderson of the Theodore Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association, Dale Brown of West 79th Street, Liz DeVito of Manhattan 75, Neil Burson, West 90s, Aaron Bellinger, West 83rd, Gary Pelton, West 70th, John Liberton of the West Side Campaign Against Hunger, Mark Jennings, Project Find, Peter Galasinayo, Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Association, Ellen Leaf, West 95th, Eustacia Smith, West Side Federation for Senior and Supportive Housing, and Erica Atkins of the Bloomingdale School of Music. So I essentially propose that slate of 12. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, vote aye by raising a hand.
Aye.
Good, and we have the proxies for the rest. So essentially, we have voted in our new board for 2025. Congratulations, all of you. Essentially, Steve will coordinate your first meeting where you will select a chair, presumably Steve, but it might be another, and then essentially go through the process of electing the key officers in order to conform with the bylaws. That's it for that item on the agenda.
Okay, please move on to your next order of business with our appreciation.
Moving on, and this is really on behalf of Steve and the board, as I am not on the board. Essentially, two amendments to the bylaws. The first is to Article 3 regarding members and dues. The objective there was to obviate the difficulties of a dues-paying year that began with the essential timing of the annual general meeting that does tend to shift, being overly complicated, a preference rather to change it to a calendar year process that our treasurer was finding to be a more simple objective. And therefore, the change to that Article 3, Section 4, which you will have received by email, essentially just changed that process, as I say, to a calendar year. The second amendment was to Article 4 regarding meetings of members, Section 1. It had become quite clear over the years that the objective of a monthly meeting was not feasible and was not occurring, and therefore to comply, or the board felt it necessary to essentially give the board greater control as to when general meetings would be held. And the amendment was essentially, as you will have received, to read that such meetings shall be held on the fourth Tuesday, which is not a legal holiday of any month, et cetera, which you will have received. So we are asking for a vote of approval for those two amendments to the bylaws. Again, raising a hand.
Aye.
Can somebody take note of the numbers?
And it's,
Do we have
That's right.
anyone voting nay?
it's just board members that vote on the minutes, right?
That's correct. Yes, there should not be a double representation here. Okay, with no name members and essentially, Steve, by your count, us having a sufficient majority of the board of the membership, those two amendments will have passed. Good. That agenda done. You can move on, Steve.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, someone said I was muted, but I guess not. So it would be good to now hear from some of you. And what we'd like to hear are two things. One is any thoughts you'd like to share about what your organization is upcoming and doing, what you'd like to be doing, and also what issues you feel are important for the coalition to try to dig into. We don't take a position, but we are really strongly seeking information and access about all of the issues, whether it's park, sanitation, police, cultural affairs, which we want to focus more on, and the things that we ought to provide to our community that you feel might be useful. Now, I promise not to call upon you because I know that's not really nice. So I need you to be cooperative now and volunteer to share some thoughts at this time, but I'm not beyond calling on you. Broadcasters don't like silence, but I'm told.
Neil has his
running-
hand.
Yeah, I have my hand
but
up.
Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Neil Burson, a co-president of the West 90s Neighborhood Association. I also wear some other hats around the community, and I wanted to first invite all participants in this meeting to the upcoming Memorial Day event held at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument on Monday, May 26, commencing at 10:30 a.m., usually concludes around noontime. As in the past, this event is being held in conjunction with Fleet Week, so there will be lots of military personnel in uniform and other special guests, local political leaders and the like, and entertainment by the U.S. Marine Corps Band. It's a lovely event for any of you who have attended. You know that. It's solemn, it's very dignified and beautiful. So we hope you all avail yourselves of the opportunity of coming if you're around on Monday, Memorial Day. That's the first
Hey,
thing.
Neil, can I jump in here? And because last year, the coalition was a supporter of the event, and you and I were able to present a wreath that the coalition purchased. And this year, the board has decided to once again purchase a wreath and be recognized as one of the supporters of this event. And you and Dale will be there to present that. So that's an activity that we're doing. It's very solemn and very touching, even for those of us who have limited military experience, quite frankly.
Yes, so, you know, the dedication is to pay tribute to those men and women of the armed forces who devoted their lives to the defense of the country and to the democratic principles upon which it was founded. So it is lovely, nonpartisan, and as I said, very dignified and touching. So please come. That's the first thing I wanted to tell you about. In connection with our engagement with the NYPD, There are lots of initiatives going on that should help to improve the safety on our streets and in our homes, including some legislation that will give NYPD much greater latitude in taking off the streets people who are obviously mentally ill and pose a threat to themselves or to the community, and to have a more engaged process with that individual throughout that person's stay in the mental facility, and to follow up to make sure that that individual who is re-entering our community is taking the medication they're supposed to be taking and the like. So that's a very important initiative. There's also legislation concerning e-bikes and other micro transportation devices that hopefully will help spare our citizenry from the daily dodging of bikes and avoiding collisions, both with motor vehicles and with pedestrians. So there's a lot going on on that scale to help improve things. And the police department has formed a new initiative that is focused on, in each of the precincts, on quality of life issues, which should also benefit all of us. So those are the things that I wanted to tell you about.
I will mention that the West 83rd Street Safe Haven, which is a form of a shelter, I serve on the Community Advisory Board, has proven to be inspiring to me and successful in that there are now about 100 people who are on the street, and they have now been living there, gaining some skills, some information, some healthcare, some guidance. And I think 25 or 30 or 40 of them have now moved on to permanent supportive housing. And that to me is a remarkable victory, that there's 150 people or so who were on the street. I don't know what street they were on, but they are not. They're being helped. And there's a lot of controversy about, the whole issue of shelters. But people say, why don't we do something about it? And then this is something that's happening, and there's been very, very few issues, some garbage or one noise complaint. But I mean, there haven't been any of the serious issues that people are often concerned about, rightly concerned about. It's next to a school, et cetera, et cetera. So that's following up a little bit of what Neil has shared. Anybody else want to share a thought or two? Go ahead, Dale.
On a lighter note, because everything's been terribly serious, the West 79th Street Block Association is having its annual tree planting and tree care and flowers. Our block association goes from Broadway to Columbus, and it's going to be on Saturday, May 17th, with a rain date on the 18th. Everybody will be meeting in front of 146 West 79th Street. Oh gosh, we've got tools, we've got gloves, we've got refreshments. We have volunteers. We can always use more. So if you like to play in the dirt, come on over to West 79th Street on Saturday, May 17th, and we'll put you to work and you'll have a great time. Thanks.
Dale, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I have a hard copy of your flyer about Planting Day, but if you have a digital copy, I'll send it to our members, the 75th
Oh
Street
yeah,
members.
I can email you. It's a
Yeah.
PDF. I'll
Okay.
email it to you. Sure.
Great. Okay,
Thanks a
great.
lot.
Thank you.
Steve, can I offer some info?
Go right ahead, Gail. He's mute.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Now
now,
we
Gail?
can, yeah.
Yeah, please.
And in line with Dale's plantings, we're doing our annual tree bed plantings on Saturday. And Liz, I realize I did not let you know for the newsletter. But again, we're ordering a lot of plants from Urban Gardens uptown who have been extremely helpful. So I suggest them if anybody needs to order anything. So that's this Saturday on our block at 11 o'clock. We'll be dispersing flowers and equipment to plant. So anyone's welcome. On May 31st, our block has its annual block flea market. And any of your constituents and any block associations are welcome to join us. It's a fun day. It's basically clean out your closets and sell your junk, and hopefully don't buy your neighbor's junk. And it's $20 to spread out a blanket or put up a table, and it's actually a lot of fun. Rain date is Sunday, but it's May 31st. So if anyone is interested, please have them email Block Association it's blockfleamarket@gmail.com.
If you send the
Blockfleamarket@gmail.com.
information, send the information to me and I'll put it in our social media. We'll have Joe do social media.
And that
Okay.
should go in the newsletter also, Gail, because the newsletter is covering, the next issue of the newsletter, which is going out on May 16th, is covering events from May 17th to June 30th.
Absolutely.
So that should go in, and maybe I could just get last year's copy and use that, but I'll talk to you separately about that.
Yeah, sorry, I should have included the info on the kiosk.
Okay.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
okay. Hey, Mark Jennings, good to see you. You were elected again and you were named to 7 committees while you were in the car. And we'll send you the schedule of meetings and responsibilities, and it's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Larry Wood, please. You're muted, Larry, so we can't hear you.
Oh, I thought I hit unmute, but I missed it.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot going on here, got it. But in the spirit of Dale, I want to start off with something positive. And just a reminder that we have our Good Neighbor Awards. The nominations are open. And we didn't get anything for you guys yet. I know there was a little flurry of maybe nominating Steve or others. I think he deferred because he's had outlets before. But if I just want to encourage you guys to think about nominating somebody. We don't have an awful lot of nominations yet, so we extended it till Monday at noon. Just go to Goddard's website or contact me, and I can make sure you get the nomination form.
It would be nice, Larry, if we were able to identify some, I don't want to be an ageist here, but some what I call Medicare eligible residents who might be inspired to actually play a bigger role, even if they haven't done incredible things. They've done some things and show a commitment to try to inspire some young people, as opposed to just recognizing the folks who have been at it for like a long time. That's why so I encourage everyone in your organization, in your nonprofit organization, in your block association, if there's someone, that they don't have to be the head of an organization or anything like that, just someone who we want to encourage, I would suggest that. And it's up to Larry and his team whether they feel it's appropriate, but that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, it's it's for volunteer activity. Somebody nominated Robert Jackson as senator. He does good work, but that's not exactly what we were looking for.
Right.
And it could be we've had a 16-year-old on it for her work around raising funds for having cancer. So we have covered a gambit. But anyway, I do serve as director of advocacy and organizing at Goddard for 38 years on staff now. So, we're clearly concerned about some of the stuff happening in Washington, particularly Medicaid, the HUD cuts, these things that really devastate a lot of the people we serve, and certainly have a big impact on this, on people here in the city, particularly if 2-year limits on Section 8 and Section 9 would just be very difficult for NYCHA residents to feel like they have to move out, and people losing rent subsidies and private housing. It'd just be a disaster. So we're doing a lot of work on that front, but that's, as you can imagine, that's a lot of work, a lot of concern. But I guess more locally on the city budget, we're turning to that process now. Some good news, the mayor had baselined a lot of potential cuts to senior programs and others, but a lot of that's been restored. So we're now fighting for new funding possibilities and expanding the services. We're also gearing up for nonpartisan get out to vote for the June primary. We're not suggesting who people should vote for, but just reminding the people of the importance of voting. We've also been doing a lot of work with our NYCHA residents in the community, the West. We have been running regular meetings with basically the developments between 56th Street and 96th Street. And we have another town hall meeting next Wednesday. They've been focused on crime and safety issues. And we're waiting to hear reports from the police department about vertical patrols and cameras and secure doors in these buildings. And that's something we might want to work with you guys on down the future, because crime and safety is an issue for all of us, and particularly in those NYCHA buildings where there's a lot of concerns there, and they certainly could use our support. And I guess I want to echo the enforcement issue around e-bikes. I meet monthly with the Older Adults Advocacy Committee with representatives from all of our senior programs. And that's one of the first issues they raised was, what are we going to do about these vehicles out there? Because it's difficult to cross the street for some of our seniors with all that mayhem. All the laws are great, but unless we have enforcement, it ain't going to change anything out there. So that's something we certainly want to partner on. So let me leave it at that. And I'm really happy to be, God is really happy to be part of this organization and helped inspire you to come together when there was concerns about the Lucerne and, homeless outreach back in 2020.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Thanks so much. You've been a leader in this community with so many of these issues, and I would give you the Good Neighbor Award, but you can't really vote yourself the award, so we'll pass on that. We'll pass on that.
Yes.
Anyone else want to share a thought? Go ahead.
It's not Goddard Riverside who makes the decisions. The Good Neighbors Award is the committee who decides it, are former winners. So we don't have a hand in picking who the people are.
Okay, gotcha. Of course you don't.
So,
Gail, go ahead. You got a second?
yeah, I meant to mention, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Redeemer Church on 83rd Street between Amsterdam and Columbus, but they have absolutely wonderful free concerts, I think 4 times a year. And there's one this Saturday. It's a Mozart concert, 7:30. It's free. You don't really need to have a ticket. You could go to Eventbrite and look for whatever, a ticket, but hardly anybody gets tickets. It's free and it's absolutely lovely, but I was also thinking they might be a good, if we can get churches as members, very active in the community, maybe they'd want to join us.
I would think that would be something that the board should review and consider doing. They
We
are
do.
a nonprofit organization serving our community. It seems to me. I mean,
Yes.
the JCC is a member, Ethical Culture is a member. These are, some spiritual connections to each of those organizations. I see no reason why not.
That's
I
a
like a
thought.
good idea. I like a good idea. And there's some remarkable spiritual leaders in the community who are very active. Kay Carpin is on the community board. Yeah, go ahead, Liz.
Gail, do you have a contact there?
I do not.
Okay.
We can find, we've got people. I know people who are there.
I mean, I
They're-
might.
They're
When
very
they first-
active.
When they first opened, I approached them, and I'm sorry, it's a while now, to hold a meeting there to introduce our block to them, and it was unbelievable. They put out a banquet that was like a bar mitzvah. They really provided a lovely spread for us to have our meeting, and they were lovely. I don't remember the name of the.
I have a contact
You
there.
do?
I've gone to a
Okay.
few meetings there. They provided some community space
Okay,
and
yeah,
events.
they were very friendly, so I could see them being willing to join us.
Great, great. Someone else with a thought or something to share?
I just wanted to share that Bloomingdale has a big community event coming up on May 31st called Performathon. So if you like just watching people play music, hanging out, seeing, getting to come and like grab free lunch and just like hang out with the community, it's a event that we've done almost every year for almost 2 decades now.
What is the date again, Erica?
Saturday, May 31st. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. Saturday, May 31st.
If you could send me information, make sure someone in your office does, we'll put it
Yeah.
on our social media. We'll send
We
it on
will.
our social media. And I think that Liz, you probably have received
It's,
that.
yeah, Grace sent
Yeah.
me the information.
Yeah.
I could forward
Yeah.
that to you, Steve.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It
And I'll
launches
put that.
It's also a campaign, so it is the one campaign
Right.
of the year where our students are fundraising on behalf of the school. So it's actually a really cool philanthropy opportunity because we obviously have
Great.
kids of all income brackets going to Bloomingdale, and so it's kind of a chance for the kids to learn. We're all fundraising to keep everybody here at the school together, and so it's a pretty cool
Terrific.
opportunity. So if you want to join, we'll send the
Great.
information out.
Hey, John, can I ask you to just speak for a moment about Rock the Block?
Well, yeah, actually, I was going
That is the
So
annual.
if you want to have a bookend weekend on June the 1st, we're doing our 4th annual Rock the Blocks, right? So we've got a permit for just a community partner, to just share, our mission, have a good time, pack some food for the community. This is our 4th year, June 1st. It's on the block of 86th Street between Riverside and West End from noon to 4. And I'll send a link in. But yeah, we'd love to have. We had 1,500 people. Prefer to pre-register so we kind of know the amount, right? We had pre-registration a couple years back of like 500, and then it turned into 2,000, right? So, we're trying to get a better sense of who's coming. So love to have all of you there. Just to celebrate community, right? And
Absolutely, John. And I'd like to have a few of you there to be at a table with maybe 500 flyers about people who might want to know about block associations, sign up for our newsletter, any other way that we might make people aware. And that's a good number of people who care about something and who are gathering. And I think it's a great venue for us. And I'm going to pressure John to make a table available to us so that we can display and talk to people. And it's only for like 4 hours, right? It's like a 4 or 5 hour event. It's not like an 8-hour commitment. So I'll be calling a few of you to join us for this special time together. Anyone else got something before we call it a night? So thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being engaged. Thanks for all the support and encouragement for what we do. And there's plenty of things to do, plenty of fun to have, and plenty of things that we need to talk about, and we shall in the very near future. So have a good night. Be safe.
And
Bye,
Steve,
everybody.
thank you.
Thanks,
Steve,
Steve.
thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
Thanks, everybody.